A week ago, the name ONeil Stevens meant absolutely nothing to most Jamaicans. Those who knew him, and based on the word in the public domain, those who knew him loved him. But calamity has brought him into the eyes of the public, and it's in his death that his final hour of greatness will shine forth. At least that's what I think. So I want us to look at ONeil Stevens, the man, the husband, the father, the leader. There's so many sides to him, and we'll be looking on a few of those sides as we have been discovering them. And I decided to start my search at LinkedIn because it really shows that ONeil invested lots of time, effort, and money to become the stalwart educator that he was. And just pop over to LinkedIn and you will see all the credentials, all the letters behind his name. But the Gleaner report did not dwell on it this morning. Instead, it spoke of a principal who happily joined the grade 6 students in a game of football during their break time. It spoke of a principal who took control of a weeping child who did not want her mother to leave her on the first day of school, engaged her in such a way that the child felt so very happy to bid adios to her mom and to go off with this man teacher. Man teacher is a term that has been used over the years for a male teacher in Jamaica. I guess simply because we don't see that as much as we should. The mother who shared her story, however, with the Gleaner stated that, much to her surprise, she later discovered that this man teacher was in fact the principal of the school, and her daughter, who entered the class that his daughter is currently in, was very, very comfortable with going off with him because of the way he made her feel. That child is now in grade 3 and still remains in the same class with his daughter. Now, Stevens served a total of 7 years as the principal of the Jesse Paul Primary School, a school rich in history. And even as I browse through the videos of how the school came to be, it's very clear as to why, even on the Junior School Challenge quiz, why the school always makes great strides and the students are so confident as they compete for these prestigious trophies. Now, rumor has it that he was scheduled to take over a new role as a principal of a prominent school in Kingston, prominent boys' school. There's no way to validate it, but if that were true any at all, you can see where that school would have benefited from a stalwart leader. And again, I say his death, although a very sad one, will do more in terms of highlighting what this strong Jamaican man represented than his actual life would have shown. But we slide over just briefly to his wife Kamisha, and I hope I have her pronunciation right. The focus has been on ONeil, but not on his wife. But you all know, they say behind every good man there's a strong woman. One interaction that I found was that of her colleague who said, I left your Christmas gift on your desk. and now you will not be able to get it. One source suggested that she was a staff member at Scotiabank, and I would want to think that she was one of those staff members who really was very, very encouraging and helpful to the clients. Because, of course, if she was married to ONeil, I would want to think that she was a wonderful person indeed. Many government agencies and child development and mental health support personalities converged on Jessere Paul at the opening of school yesterday. Not a dry eye was in sight, not from teachers, students, or parents. And it was very interesting for me to see that a team came over from Bellevue. And yes, I mean Bellevue Hospital, because mental health is a serious issue. And I remember as a child, I lost a classmate in first form, and I lost a classmate in primary school. And those two deaths stayed with me for a very long time. We didn't have counseling. I guess nobody thought to look into the mental state that that void would have created. But look at me now. I'm well into my 50s, and I still remember that two of my classmates passed away, and there was absolutely no closure. And when we went to the funeral, it was so surreal. May their souls also rest in eternal peace. The sadness permeates through the entire body. And there was one particular individual, a grade 6 teacher, Davina Graham, who tried to express the range of emotions that were at play yesterday. It was a mixture of sadness, confusion, anger. Some of them didn't even know how to process what they were feeling. But for those of you who have stayed up to this point in this video, I want to thank you who have corrected a lot of the breaking information that I would have shared. There was one person who indicated that the mom was not ONeil's mom, but it was Kamisha's mom. Thank you for that. We now know that it was not a freak accident. We know that they had stopped. It's not quite clear if they had pulled over, but in my limited driving experience, and considering that if you're in the road and you stop, you're going to pull over. So my assumption is to change a flat, he would have pulled over. And in the process of doing so, he was hit, and his wife along with him. There are different reports. Some say it was a drunk driver. Some say even though they jumped out of the way, fled the oncoming vehicle, it came, found them, and mowed them down. One thing is sure, however, they met their demise in front of their two daughters and the mom and mother-in-law. Now that, my friends, will need a lot of time, a lot of counseling, a lot of help to get over. And so the final update that I have seen is that plans are now being made as the autopsy for both Kamisha and ONeil have come to an end, to send the bodies home for burial. And it kind of blows my mind that they were on their way to the airport already to go home on their own volition. And somebody took that choice away from them. Somebody delayed their leave in the US. And somebody delayed their return to their island home. Tragic. Totally tragic. ONeil Stevens will be remembered as a strict disciplinarian, but one who treated each child as though he or she were his own. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved the stance that he took. The JTA bemoans the loss of a great leader, and without having gotten a lot of information, I was made privy to the fact that he was also involved in the LASCO Principal Award. We will discover more on this, and if you would like, we will share that with you as well. As we close out on this particular presentation, we say, walk good, my brother, walk good, my sister. The Lord knows best, and He will supply those who will take charge of your young ones, and the same love and care that you have given to the children of those around you. May your children receive that much and more. Sherry has a lot to say, but as many Jamaicans have already said, this one hit hard.